Hi, this is Liz.
And this is Kim.
Thanks for joining us for episode 19 of Keep Up with Liz and Kim.
There are so many exciting things happening in Ada right now. We have new businesses coming almost every week. A little while back, we had Synchrony Health open. We have the Artisan Fox Floral now next to Gravel Bottom. Synchrony's upstairs in that building. Old National Mortgage Center is doing their ribbon cutting and open house on June 6th. So that's coming up. If anyone wants to join us for that ribbon cutting, come on out at 4 o'clock. Foxtail Coffee opened up with a wonderful grand opening on May 30th. That was tons of fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of people and a good vibe. Loved it.
Yeah, it's an incredible space. It is going to be a well-loved location and new coffee shop. And then we have Village Family Eye Care opening up, and I believe they're already taking patients, and we're doing a ribbon cutting for them on June 26th.
So many ribbon cuttings, so many new businesses. Of course, Ada continues to grow. This is amazing. We're so excited to welcome all these new businesses. So to everybody listening, check out these new businesses. Again, Synchrony Health, Artisan Fox Floral, Old National Mortgage Center, Foxtail Coffee, and Village Family Eye Care. And also, Kim, you guys are celebrating something fun at the ABA, aren't you?
Yes, the ABA is celebrating their 35th anniversary this year. So the organization was incorporated with the state of Michigan in 1989, and we were able to track down some of the original board members. So we're collecting some fun information, and then we will be celebrating the anniversary at our July happy hour. So all kinds of fun stuff.
So crazy. We were actually just talking before the podcast that I'm 35, so the ABA started the same year I was born.
Today we have Christina Perez with us, who owns Siren and Proper. She learned her craft at Cheeky Strut, where she rented a room to provide lash services and makeup. As the demand for lash extensions grew, the market space for a salon that specialized in only lashes and brows became evident. With Christina's talent and knowledge of the lash industry, the idea of a lash lounge and brow bar was born. Christina's first location is in downtown Grand Rapids. That opened in 2014, and we're thrilled that she opened a location here in Ada in 2022.
All right, we are super excited to have Christina here with us, the owner of Siren and Proper. We always joke, or I always joke, we start with the hardest question. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Siren and Proper. So how did you start Siren and Proper?
Yeah, so I know it's kind of like cliche to say this or something like this, but I fell into lash extensions. I went to hair school in 2007, and I thought that there was going to be a lot more theory on makeup, because that's what I really wanted to go for. But it was really 50 weeks of hair and then like 1 week of makeup and 1 week of skincare. And so imagine my disappointment when I graduated and I was like, I hate doing hair. Oh, yeah. I hated almost everything about doing hair. Color was a lot of fun for me. So I kind of experimented with that, and I would post pictures on, my Facebook and back then MySpace. And right.
Don't age yourself. Come on.
All right, everyone forget that I said that. And so I would share my work that I was excited about, and Katie Lynn, the owner of Cheeky Strut Salon downtown, saw it and, reached out to me, and she was like, hey, you should come work here. And I was like, done. That's all I needed to hear, because that salon was, the place to go in my eyes. And I really looked up to her and the salon. And so when she said that, I was like, absolutely. So that's kind of like how I started. I did get trained in lash extensions while I was in hair school, which I don't think they do anymore. So you have to be licensed. I was lucky enough to get it done in hair school before I was licensed. So by the time I started doing it at Cheeky Strut, I was renting a room, and I did that for a few years. And then after, raising the prices and staying booked, and then seeing other people start to pick up on lash extensions and they were getting booked, I was like, there's only really one other way to go with this. It's either move out on my own or open a business.
Yeah. And that's way before your time, too, or our time.
Right.
I feel like lash extensions is such a big thing now, but you're talking, what, 08? 9?
Yeah. So 09, yeah. Or, oh gosh, I think when I came back to Cheeky Strut, it was 2010, maybe.
Okay.
But I had been trained since 2011, so it's been a long time. Yeah. I was in the lash game, and this isn't going to mean much to many people, but anyone who's familiar with lash extensions knows they come in trays now, but back then they came loose in little pots, and you literally had to dump out these like little tiny hairs onto like a non-sticky surface, and then you'd had to pop them into place and put them on individually, and now they just sit upright in a tray, and it's so much easier. So
yeah. My word.
It's come a long way.
Yeah,
it's come a long way.
In advance.
Yes.
Yeah. So you opened your own business
Yeah.
called Siren and Proper. It's a very unique name. Tell us how you came up with that.
It is. I cannot take credit for that name. I have to give that credit to my partner, Katie Lynn, who is, in my opinion, a creative genius. That's really where she excels. But we have been friends for years and years. And I remember when I was working at Cheeky Strut, she was living in the building that Cheeky Strut is in. And so very often after work, we would gather at her place. And one day I walked in, and I was the last one to finish work that day. And so I was meeting her and some friends at her place. She already had a cocktail in her hand. And this is, if you ever met Katie Lynn, this will not seem out of character, but if you do not know her, this is just going to sound very random. But she was in a spinny bar stool at the counter with her cocktail in her hand, and I walked in, she's like, "Hi, how was your day?" And she spins towards me. She's like, "What do you think about this name, Siren and Proper?" And I was like, what even is that? Like, it just came out of nowhere. She's like, "I don't know. I think I'm going to use it for a brand or a business someday." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Anyways, what are we doing? You know? And so, yeah. You know, we did talk a little bit more about it. You know, she was like, "I envision the logo being like a fox and a bunny, you know, just a play on the duality of Siren and Proper, kind of like a yin and yang situation, you know." But anyway, so that was kind of it. And so it wasn't until a couple years later when we started discussing the plans for our salon. And we had already gone over like the aesthetic and the decor, and everything was very black and white, very contrasting. And she and I are just the epitome of like opposite people. Like, she's blonde and bubbly, and when she speaks, everything is very up and positive. And not to take anything away from myself, but I feel like I'm more monotone. I have dark hair, you know, like I'm just generally more of like a low key kind of person.
But very sophisticated.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I will take that. Thank you. So she would always call me Foxy Lady. And so it just kind of was funny when we were talking about a name. I said, "What was that name you said years ago?" And she was like, "Siren and Proper." I was like, "Yeah, the fox and the bunny thing." I was like, "That's literally me and you. You are the bunny. I am the fox." And she was like, "Oh my gosh." So that's kind of where it came from. And it was perfect for us. It represented us. It represented the way that our creative minds came together and created this like very black and white, you know, the salon. And, you know, that's kind of something that we wanted to represent in the work that we did as well. So the duality kind of spills over. I mean, everyone has a little bit of Siren, everyone has a little bit of Proper, and your lashes can kind of represent either side of that, or maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. No, that's such a cool story. So obviously you didn't start, you know, doing lashes to go into business for yourself. Mm-hmm. It was kind of one of those things that you fell into, didn't love the hair world. Mm-hmm. But now that you are a small business owner, what are some of the things you love? And what are some of the things you don't really love about being, especially to like a women in small business?
Oh gosh. I will say, I think, well, I just want to talk a little bit, I think, about like what I really struggle with. And I will I mean, my nephew's graduating high school right now, and he doesn't know if he wants to go to college or not. He might want to go into the trades, which is fine. We need people in that, and he would certainly excel. But I always say, I wish I would have gone to college at least a couple of years, because I feel like being in a small business and trying to surround myself, especially when these networking situations after meeting you two, I get nervous going into these situations, meeting people who are in from a more corporate environment. I find it not hard to talk to them in the sense that I can't find something to relate on, but hard to talk to them in a way that like I'm worried that they would respect me or not. And so I really wish that that is something I would have done and gotten a little bit more experience in that kind of more real world, like school setting, structured setting, that type of thing. So that is something that I struggle with personally. As far as like the business goes, I would say I struggle with, I am an empathetic person, but I am kind of hard-nosed as well. And so finding that balance of wanting to ensure that you keep your staff happy because you don't want to create a toxic environment, right?
Right.
But also finding the people that work well with you in the environment that you create as well. And, I find myself constantly questioning, is this a me problem or is this a you problem?
We were just talking about that actually.
We have this conversation all the time.
Yeah. I'm like, is this my fault? Am I crazy? Or are you just not fitting in here and are you the toxic person, I certainly don't want to be that person. I try, but it's hard. And I really do care about my girls. And one of the things that is most rewarding that I do enjoy about business is when you see their books get full and you see their skill grow, and then you see them move on in life, watching those successes in their life and their career is very satisfying. And seeing them happy. And then when you do get those compliments once in a while, like, thank you for your support. Thank you for teaching me. Or thank you for being you. And thank you for being a great boss. That is, wow.
Yeah. No, when you nurture someone and then you see them just soar on their own, that's very rewarding.
It's so cool. Yeah. I hate saying it. It's like almost like having kids sometimes.
Oh, it is.
Right.
It is. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and it's just you're gonna have those ebb and flows with employees, and it's so hard to keep that like vision because sometimes you're like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, right.
But like, am I supposed to be thinking different? Or it's hard. It is very hard.
Yeah. Because you get on a track of like what you think would work for the business, right? And then all of a sudden, like you get all this kickback, and you're like, okay. Did I make a mistake here? Or is this really just, an employee mindset versus the owner mindset? And you really don't want to get judged too harshly.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the hard parts too is like you have a vision for your business. How do you put that into words for your employees to all understand? They have that same vision and drive and all of that. And it's hard. You can't.
I'm not a coach. I am not a motivational speaker. And I feel like if I were, again, going back to college, maybe if I would have got a little bit of training in that sense, I would be a little bit better at it at delivering that message.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. It is. But it's interesting to hear how you see yourself because you've had all that on the job training. And from the first time I met you, when you first opened Siren and Proper Hair, I just feel like you're such a lady boss. I honestly do. And I respect everything you're doing. Yeah. And actually, I felt very intimidated meeting you.
Are you the
first? No, because I'm like, this girl has it together.
No,
she's opening another
not.
location. She looks fabulous. I'm just like, half the time I feel like I'm just running around like a hot mess. And I'm like, so see, everyone has,
so funny. Right? And I look at you and I'm like, I don't know how she handles all of this stuff. I tell you that every time you come in for an appointment. I'm like, this is incredible. I don't know how you do what you do. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Oh,
but that's where I think it's like personality too. Like I went to school for fashion design and merchandising.
Yeah.
And I'm doing marketing. So did my degree actually do anything for me? Probably not. Right. So it's just all about that like personality and drive. And I think everybody says to us like, how do you guys do it all? And it's just, it's in us. It's in our blood. And you can't go to school for that.
Yeah, no.
It's just ingrained in you.
You're right. Yeah. That's a great point because in any position where you hire somebody for, like, okay, customer service is a wonderful example. You cannot train customer service. You can train scripts and you can train responses. But, people can sense whether you're being genuine or you're just reciting something. And that is something you just cannot train.
No, not at all.
No, people either have that or they don't. It's intuitive to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a great point.
All right. So we've talked about this a little bit, but any other small business challenges that you'd like to share, as you've opened different locations and you've talked a little bit about staffing, but if, especially like if someone was starting out in business, what advice would you give them?
Okay. I feel like there was a lot there, so let's do one thing at a time. What was one of the
Oh,
points?
I'm sorry. I tend to go on. So, we can break it down a little bit more. Some of what are the biggest challenges of owning a small business? You've talked a little about staffing, but outside of that, what are some of your other challenges?
Gosh, everything from how it infiltrates your personal life to time management, all your relationships in and outside of work. And then, gosh, always balancing, down to the financial stuff, running the business, that's huge. Like, when you sit down and you actually and again, I didn't go to school for this, so the first time I sat down and I broke down all of my annual expenses all the way down to the hour of every day of what you need to make to be profitable, and you sit back and you look at how much you're spending, and it's mind-blowing to me.
And terrifying.
It's scary.
Yes.
Like, I could be in some deep shit. Can I
Oh,
say that?
Yes, you can.
I could get in some deep, ish if I'm not careful, right? Like, that is a lot of responsibility. Not only the people that are depending on you to create a successful space, but all the bills that you have to pay.
Yeah.
Right.
And the people that are looking to you for, it's just, that's the thought process that I really have to work hard at night to not overwhelm myself with, because those midnight thoughts creep in if you're a late person like I am. And I don't know what it is. It's either impulsive shopping at 12:30 at night or it's doom. Like, I don't know if you can relate.
Yes.
I can in the morning. I'm the morning.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay, you're the morning doom person.
I'm the morning doom person. Open the email box or, look at yesterday's sales or whatever. You're like, all right, well, might as well buy a new pair of shoes.
That'll make me feel better. Yeah. So, and the personal life is a big thing. Like, Andy and I, Andy's an entrepreneur. My fiance's an entrepreneur as well, with a business that's about 4 or 5 years old. And I feel like we're constantly looking at, like, what can we do next? How can we make this better? How can we do better? And we very rarely look at our personal lives and set goals like, let's take a vacation.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's finally get married.
Oh, yeah.
Let's finish the house, because you almost don't have time to think about it. He does events in the summer, and, his customers in the winter want to get all their work done on their cars while they're not driving them. So it's like, he's so slammed. And then I'm constantly, like, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed on, Slack and communicating with the staff and placing orders and watching numbers, and then trying to build relationships outside of work to continue to uphold the reputation of the business, right? And bring in new clients. So it is just time management and relationships.
Yeah.
Well, and I think you saying all that too is such a good point of why you guys and why people need to support small.
Right.
There is every transaction, there is a person behind that watching that transaction go through.
Absolutely.
We're not Amazon or whatever where that transaction means nothing.
Yeah.
Like, that transaction can literally make or break your day.
Exactly.
And it's important.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Returns,
Support small.
Yeah, returns and mistakes and comps. Like, Amazon, you can return something and, kind of fudge your response to get a free return where you don't have to do a restocking fee or whatever. And with us, like, a restocking fee is like, well, now we're in the negative.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like,
yeah, and that's what's so hard. It's just, like you said, you're either happy or in doomsday, and it's just really that one transaction can put you from
happy
to doom.
Yeah. And finding that balance, I think that's something we're all challenged with all the time. Is just like you said, setting personal goals and carving out time for yourselves. I mean, even just to go out to dinner sometimes. It's like, well, in 2 weeks, let's, put a date on the calendar, because you're just running all the time.
Yeah.
Solving problems.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, and sometimes you just go out to dinner with each other so we can talk about business.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. I'm like, how it's like, I can imagine it's like how parents are. They go out to dinner to do date night, and all they can talk about are the kids.
Yeah.
And then Andy and I go out to dinner, and all we can talk about is what's going on at work. And I'm like, can we just figure out who we are outside of this? Like, that would be a healthy place to start.
Yeah. But it's also, now that you say that, it's bringing up your business is your identity to a point.
It is.
Right.
And that's sometimes too trying to remove yourself from the business into your personal life when your personal life overflows into your business as your identity.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Oh my gosh, that is so,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, that is such a great point.
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
when people say who you are, you're like, oh, I'm Christina. I own Siren and Proper.
Yes,
You know, it's,
Or
yeah.
when people introduce you, you know, like she's
Yes.
the owner of Siren, and it's,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when you first meet somebody, what's one of the first things you ask? What do you do?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's human nature.
It
Find
is.
out what people do.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. If you and Andy were to come down on a Saturday in Ada Village,
Mm-hmm.
what would be your perfect Saturday in Ada Village? What would you guys do?
Oh, there's a lot to do now. I love it.
Ours.
I love the social district. So first of all, maybe we could like grab a little brunch at maybe Mud Penny. And then we would do I would do a little shopping. I don't know what he would do, but you know, I'm just kidding. Andy honestly is like the biggest supporter of my bad habits as far as like shopping. If I like something, he's like, get it in both colors. I'm like, okay, thank you.
That's sweet.
So shopping for sure. I love Croft House, your store.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gina's Boutique has some cute things. There's a couple other really cute stores. I'm the names are escaping me right now that I'm on the spot. And then the James Boutique is cute. And then maybe grab a drink and stroll like around the river area. I love that. The park. I'm super excited, by the way, for the new park that's coming in. I cannot freaking wait for that to be done.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be gorgeous.
It is. It's
Yeah.
absolutely incredible.
We will incorporate that into our perfect Saturday.
Yeah.
And then I would probably go into Siren and have somebody like touch up my brows and makeup a little bit before din-dins, and then we'd go to like Mirth or something like that. So yeah,
Oh, love
when the
it.
hotel opens, I would definitely do a staycation here for
Yes.
sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be lots of fun. Have dinner
yeah.
up on the roof. And
Yeah, the
But
vibe.
if you do a staycation, rule number 1, you cannot go to Siren and Proper.
I know, because there's no way I can walk in there and not be like, who's not picking up this? Who's not cleaning? Why is this over
Exactly.
here? Why does everyone here disrespect me like this? Like, no one cares about this house but me.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I love it.
Yes.
Definitely. So I do want to mention that the ABA is going to be hosting our Coffee and Conversation in June at Siren and Proper. That's going to be on Tuesday, June 25th at 8:15 to 9:45. So if you're curious about Siren and Proper, come out and join us. You don't have to be an ABA member. You're welcome to come network. And we're going to have one of our other members there, Julie Bulgavi, and she's going to be taking some headshots if somebody needs to update their headshot. So it's going to be tons of fun. We're going to play networking bingo. So thank you for hosting us at that.
Yeah. We're so looking forward to it. It's going to be a really great time.
Yeah, lots of fun. And then if somebody wants to find out more about you or Siren and Proper and keep up with you, how should they reach out?
The best way would probably be, well, if they want to reach out, they
Yes.
can email me or the desk staff if they have questions, info@sirenandproper.com, or if they want to email me, Christina Lynn @sirenandproper.com. Obviously, visit the website. There's a ton of information on there. I'm usually pretty good about keeping that updated. Yeah. that would be the best way.
Socials.
Yeah.
Socials. Check you out on
Socials.
social media.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, we lost our social media girl to. One of our clients is she works at AK Ricks, and
Oh, yes.
I give her a hard time. I'm like, you stole my girl. You took her from me. No, I'm just kidding. She got a job elsewhere. We're super proud of her for moving up and beyond. So we don't have anybody running our Instagram right now. I am on there. You can message. I will respond. But as far as like posting updates, the most updated information is going to be on the website right now.
Perfect.
Yep.
Love it. Well, thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Well,
has
good.
been fun.
Always fun hanging out with you guys.
All right, Kim, should we jump into the Fast Five?
Let's do it.
All right. For starters, Ada Village Farmers Market starts this week. That's right, June 4th. It's every Tuesday through October 29th. You can catch a ton of different vendors, vegetables, fruit, meat. Oh my word, what else, Kim? There's a lot, right?
KDL does story time out
Yeah.
there. I think they're adding a few more food trucks this year. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
It will be.
As I mentioned earlier, June 6th, we will be celebrating the opening of Old National Mortgage Center with a ribbon cutting. That's 4 p.m. They are going to be right above where Zayton Restaurant is. So join us by Zayton Restaurant at 4 p.m. and help welcome them to the village.
Awesome. Can't wait. We'll be there. All right. The Grand Rapids Triathlon is coming back to Ada Village as usual, June 8th and 9th. Come check it out. Experience the feel of Ada through the triathlon. There's a lot of bikes, a lot of runners. It's a great time in Ada Village.
Yeah, it's just a synergy when we had John on and talked about how vibrant the village is when all those races are here. And they do have a kids division also. Tons of fun.
Tons of fun.
Mark your calendar for June 12th. It is going to be a jam-packed night of fun in Ada Village. The ABA has our happy hour at Gravel Bottom. That starts at 4:30. You do not have to be an ABA member to attend. You're welcome to come network and check out the ABA. During that happy hour, we're going to be doing a ribbon cutting for Wolfies. They are a mobile pet care organization, business. They also offer pet walking and sitting. So lots of incredible things with Wolfies. Come check them out. That ribbon cutting's at 5 o'clock. And then grab your friends, grab a social district drink, and attend the first Music on the Lawn. And they are going to be featuring the Thorn Apple River Band that night.
This is going to be an awesome night.
It is.
You'll see Kim and I down there for sure.
Yes.
All right, up next, Cars and Coffee Grand Rapids is coming to Ada Village. We are very excited to have partnered with Cars and Coffee. There's going to be over 200 vehicles. This is a big event. We're super excited. It's going to be in the Ada Hotel parking lot. So the parking lot that Mud Penny sits in and the Ada Hotel. So come check it out. Join the crew. It's going to be an awesome night.
Those are going to be so fun to have in Ada Village this year. It's just going to add a whole new dimension.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I just said night, too. It's not night, guys. It's morning. Cars and Coffee. So, come join us in the morning. They are Saturday mornings. We will send out more information via social media, the ABA, Discover Ada, all that kind of stuff. So,
and always, if you want to keep up with what's happening in Ada Village, like Cars and Coffee, learn more about the businesses, and participate in our upcoming events, follow Discover Ada and the ABA on social media, and subscribe to this podcast.
All right, as usual, thanks for listening. I'll try to keep up.